Okay, so we just have a few facilitator tips for the gratitude module. So first, under the supporting psychological knowledge section, if you have time, go ahead and play this TED Talk for them. It's not that long, and it's really helpful to be able to understand the neurological importance of gratitude and why it's important that we start to how much power we really have over rewiring our brain, especially from all the trauma and things that we've been through. So if you can, show that to them because that will kind of make it maybe a little bit easier for them to understand why this is so important and also give them more motivation to actually start doing it. And then the practical application section about gratitude for food. If you can, eat a meal together and practice saying a gratitude, blessing or something like that beforehand, that would be great. But even if not, if you're doing like a, longer training and you're taking a food break, you can encourage them to do that on their food break and then come back and talk about what that practice was like for them. Or if you have classes that are like weekly or something like that, you can encourage them to use gratitude practices before food throughout the week and then come back and talk about it later. It's also really great if they're combining this with the mindfulness stuff that we talked about in the last module because it's just a very different experience to sit down with food and actually, give thanks for it, have a gratitude practice, and then also mindfully engage with it instead of just sitting down, not having any gratitude and doom scrolling or doing something else, while you're eating. Those are two very different experiences, and we want them to see what it's like to be a bit more slowed down and mindful and bring some gratitude to the practice of eating compared to what we're used to. Also, it is often helpful to emphasize that even if someone isn't like religious or highly spiritual or anything like that, or believes in like kind of an external God figure or creator or something like that, it's still a powerful practice to give thanks to something that they see as just greater than their own ego. So could be the collective consciousness or their higher self or inner being or humanity in general or the earth for providing resources for us. Whatever resonates with them is fine. Just gratitude for something bigger than themselves. And then regarding heartbrain coherence, if possible, at least practice this with them, in the room, whatever room you're in. But if you can, take them outside to practice it because it's just a very different experience. You can invite them to remove their shoes and put their bare feet on the ground if they feel comfortable doing that. And if they would like to know more about why it's helpful to do this, you can tell them that they can research earthing or grounding. Or in the last module, I gave a link that kind of will start you off on understanding the science behind that. But it's very important not to just explain heart brain coherence to them, but actually practice it together so they can start to understand how to implement that so that when they leave, they know how to do it, when emotions come up for them and they can start practicing instead of just kind of having a theoretical understanding of it.